the way these all came together and are able to tell this story in comic form, I think it just heightens the medium. I mean, this is a great piece of work. Like, for this to be an inaugural run, you guys knocked it out of the park.
Thank you so much.
Hi, everybody. It's your old pal Anton at comiccon.com. And we are here today to hang out once again with the bestest of boys, some of my absolute favorite people on the planet. Ethan, Griffin, and Bobo are here from Kill Your Darlings. Issue 8 has just dropped. Hi, everybody.
Hello, good to see you again.
Hi, Anton. Anton the Taste Maker.
I felt it was an appropriate title change from Anton the Storyteller, as I normally use my nom de plume, because I said way back when man hunted mammoth with pointy stick once,
of course,
that this book was going to do things. It was going to be vastly important. It has been very important to me. It is emotional. It's powerful. It's brilliantly written. All hyperbole aside, it is one of my favorite comics ever. Like, it has knocked other things that have been in my top 5 out of my top 5, and I'm talking 20 years worth of stuff. So it has done. Really powerful book. Anybody who has not read it yet, deeply insightful, very moving, a ton of fun. You get your action, you get your emotion, and it really speaks to. I know it's. You can say it speaks to a generation, but I feel like my particular cusp Gen X sort of or old millennial vibe, like it really, it hit hard for me. A lot of emotional surprises, but now Eisner nom.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
Right. Now, in my soothsayer fashion, I believe that. That's a wonderful thing. I mean, first thoughts when you guys found out. What were how did you react?
This is the first interview we've gotten to do since that, and since the end of the book and everything. And it's an honor to get to chat with you. But yeah, it's bizarre. I don't think we've processed it at all. It's so strange. All of our wildest dreams for the book just kept getting exceeded, where it was like the sales were beyond what we hoped, and then the reaction was beyond what we hoped, and then the Eisner thing is just like, I don't, I would never even have thought to hope that could happen. Like just the very honor of being nominated and being amongst all those like incredible creators in that group, like. It's almost funny. It's just ridiculous. I don't understand.
Yeah. No, Ethan and Griffin called me when they found out about the Eisner nomination, and I went, "Am I in trouble? Is everything okay?" It was so far from where I thought the conversation was going to be that it wasn't even going to happen. It was just like, "Oh yeah, here's your Eisner nomination." We're like, "Really? Cool."
Yeah.
But to be fair, I've said from the beginning to these beautiful boys. We made something special, and I'm very proud of it. And it's good that the industry finally caught up with us.
It's amazing. I mean, from cover to cover, like it starts in one place, and in a non-jarring way, you really do get to go on a journey, and that's the double-sized issue. Being able to talk to Bob weekly and just kind of, I'm working on it. It's going to be huge.
I just had somebody
work on it.
I just had somebody send me a couple issues to sign, and they I guess I hadn't opened up the box that had issue 8 in it for some reason. I picked it up out of the thing, and I was like, this thing is huge.
It's a hefty book. Yeah.
It does have some weight to it. Wait till you get your hands on that trade paperback. It's gonna be.
Yeah, it's gonna be a tome.
And that's a final cutoff for that soon, right? We're recording this on the 20th of May. I believe they've got you got another week or 2 at most from this point?
June 3rd.
June 3rd. So you guys, you'll probably be hearing this in the next day or two. You want to jump on that real quick. Make sure you get yourself a copy.
We're so excited for people to be able to have the trade reading experience, because we think we built it to be exciting as single issues, but we also we're very conscious the whole time of wanting it to be a great binge as well. And getting to look at it all together in the proofs of the trade that we've seen. I'm so excited for people to experience it that way and be able to move through it at their own pace. And it is going to be a steal as well, because there's a lot of stuff in there for the price tag. So very excited about that for sure.
No, I mean, I everything Ethan said times 1,000. Yes, we wanted a very special month-to-month single issue experience, but also we knew that it was going to be collected all in one complete collection, and so I'm really excited for folks to experience it that way because I think the folks who read the single issues, I think, will still get something. I mean, you could go and read all your single issues back to back to back, but there's something about just like nonstop being able to flip through the whole thing and hold it in your hands and yes, feel the weight of it. I think helps that
and the big journey. Yeah.
the tome, yes, the epicness of it all. We like to call it an epic. We cover so much time, we go through so many different emotions and feelings, and so yeah, I'm really excited for it.
It's awesome. And I mean, you can also use it as like a home defense item because it is
right.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the singles alone.
Keep it on your nightstand for when the burglars show up. Hit him in the face with it.
Exactly.
It's true because, like, even though like 8 issues was already like twice the size of a typical trade, right? And
oh, he's gone.
Oh, he's frozen.
Oh no, he's frozen.
Oh no.
There
Are
he
we
is.
back?
Now he's moving.
Oh, we are so back. You said it's about twice the size of a regular trade.
8 issues is already twice the size of a regular trade, really, but also issue 8 is pretty much the length of 2 issues, so it's really closer to 9, almost 10 issues worth of stuff in
it's
one.
Like Kill Your
bundle.
Darlings omnibus.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, it really is.
These are ad-free issues, so
yeah,
of course.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
So you can send the media mail.
Yeah.
I learned that from the post office a couple weeks ago, you guys. That's because I was like, why can't you ship comic books? And he's like, well, does it have any advertising? And he goes, no. He goes, well, you can do it then. And I was like, well, I didn't know that was a differentiator.
Wow.
You can't ship comic books that have advertising?
That is correct. Media mail does not allow you to ship advertising. Which
That
I
is
didn't know.
very strange.
Yeah.
Okay.
So look at that. You've learned about our book and you've learned about the United States Postal
This is
Service.
an educational show we're doing.
Yeah.
Edutainment.
Edutainment, right? We check all the boxes here. That's how this rolls.
Mm-hmm.
I want to share a fun anecdotal story with you.
Please.
I read through. I got my advanced reader for it. I read through it. Last couple of pages broke me. Blubbering mess, just absolute sobbing.
Me too.
Just mess.
Yeah, same.
And it was amazing. What's maybe more amusing than that, right? Because I texted Bob immediately, and it was just like, I love all 3 of you. You're wonderful people, and you've made my life more rich for creating this piece of art.
Same here.
And I mean that, right? Like as a person who studied art and understands that like sequential storytelling is an important piece. It's an art medium, right? It's collaborative storytelling. The writing is as important as the art. It all flows together.
Absolutely.
And I think it's really important. What you guys have created, I think, is timeless and important to the conversation.
Thanks, man.
What's wilder is a friend, a mutual friend of Bob and I's, texted me when the book came out and said, I know exactly what page broke you, and then I know when you started crying. And like, they're not the same page because it's not.
Really?
He's like, I know what page, like I know where it hit, and then I was like, oh, he was destroyed. Like this part cracked all of the dam, and then this part is what did him in, and he was exactly right. Like he was able to.
Are we? Is this non-spoilers? Are you not sharing what they were?
Yeah, we can spoil it. So the part that broke me, there's a portal to a place that may as well be an analog for hell, and there is it calls to me again, and I am going to take responsibility for the trauma that I caused you, and I'm going to take responsibility as sort of a matriarchal figure for the things that I've done, and that is something that a lot of us who have been through stuff will probably never get to experience, but being able to read it on the page and the build up to that moment was very cathartic. And that because when she says you don't have to do this, right? She's like, you don't have to go, like we can figure it out or whatever. For me as a kid who came from a place that was kind of grim, I would have made excuses for people in my life and said like, hey, no, we'll figure it out. Like you don't have to go. And so for the responsibility to be taken and like, nope, this has to mean something. I'm going to do it. that had it, right. The waterworks were going, and that really
I didn't. That was unexpected. I got goosebumps from you explaining that. That was great.
well, I mean, like, because it's like I know I'll never see it in the real world, right? And like comics and video games and TV and everything, there are catharsis and there are a way to experience something we may not experience, whether it's flying through space or fighting super mutants or a monkey with a Gatling gun. I don't know, but like those are the ways we experience.
That is the next book, by the way.
But that's how we experience these things, and so for me, that was sort of a letting go of a very heavy weight, like on my own soul. And then you get to, there's a scene in the epilogue where a child is kind of voicing their own inner demons and their own fears and sort of the things they're scared of, and it's this beautifully drawn picture of this blue piece of cardboard, and it's got like this green monster with all these teeth and these tentacles and a little spaceman, and she goes in and draws the fucking sword on it, and it's like, it doesn't look so scary, and it's like it's a weird meta thing, or at least that's what I took away from it, where it's like, this story is a sword for me. Like it's I take the story as the blade into kind of the next stage of life. It's like this very transitional thing. It feels very representative.
That made me cry, man.
It's a very, like, if you wrote this book for somebody, I was the audience. This book,
that's awesome.
It weighed on me in a way, and it was very heavy. Like the car accident scene, that I didn't see that coming. Like the brake lights and the transition between, like when the pivot starts to happen, because we kind of talked about it in the last time we talked, and like as the falling action starts to go into play, and you're like, holy shit, where is this going? Like, oh my god, like, and it's like you're stripping away this as somebody who explores complex childhood trauma. There's so many processing mechanisms that like I had to learn to deal with. And like this book, it beautifully illustrates it both in narrative tone and in visual representation in a way that like I've brought it up to medical professionals, and I'm like, you got to read this.
Wow.
Like, you got to feel like this is really amazing for processing. So
thank you. Something I'll say about the ending is like, I have talked about the book in my own therapy sessions as well. I've had my therapist, like, because my therapist hasn't read the book, but like I've talked about the plot of the book, and I've had my therapist point out things of like, you notice anything familiar there? And like, it's not even the stuff. It's not even the stuff that I intentionally injected to be an analog. It's like something that was subconscious, and I'm just like, oh god, like it is crazy. The book is quite personal, and that last moment, the last moment of the book, as it is executed, was a total collaboration between us. But the broad idea of the putting the sword in the kid's hand and the being like, it doesn't look so scary to me, was something that popped into my head during an extremely severe panic attack, like one of the worst panic attacks I've ever had. When I was living in Alaska, I was in the car and I had left work, and I just had a complete meltdown, and there were tears streaming, and I was having a panic attack, and that popped into my head, and I called Griffin, and I was like, okay, I think I know how this ends. Like being completely fucked up, and it took a while for us to figure out exactly how and what that looks like, and we figured that all out together. But it's like, that is just an example of like, the stuff came from very real places. Like, it came from very intense emotional places. And so to hear that it is meaningful to you, like, that is incredibly gratifying.
Oh man, as someone who deals with severe anxiety, medication, and it took me years to even realize it was anxiety and not a million other things, right? And this book hits in a way that to call it anything other than art feels foolish.
No.
Because art makes you feel, right? And it helps you process, and like, whether it sold 1 billion copies, which I hope it does, right? I hope it just continues to sell into infinitum. Or it sells, what it's done, but I would like to see it do more, only because I think everybody kind of needs to be able to have the joy of experiencing it and take something from it. But like, this book makes me feel, and I love that. Like, I love being able to have all of those complex emotions, and not in a way that's like, I watched this A24 film and it makes me scared of men even more than I am now. Like, you know what I mean? But it's like this rounded, full emotional experience. And like,
right. That's loaded, yeah. And Bob just brings it all home, man. Like the faces on those characters, dude. They all like like for as because we're trying to express a lot, like and complex things that like are, they're messy and like but you hand them to somebody like Bob, and Bob can bring people to life that can express those things for you and do it in a way that is like doesn't just ring true, but it's also just beautiful. Like it is just eye candy. And so like Bob deserves all the credit in the world for bringing you to tears, because it's like those moments could ring so hollow if in the hands of somebody less capable. Bob's a master.
Oh, he's so
these,
good.
These,
like,
these dudes that gave me like it gave me such an acting heavy book, and it was just somehow they knew that's exactly what I wanted to be doing. You know what I mean? Like it was about like getting the subtleties of what's going on and trying to bring that onto the page, and it was just a joy every day.
Match made in heaven.
It really was.
Yeah.
Truly, I mean, the way we've talked about it before. Real quick, Anton, thank you so much for all the extremely kind words. And yes, it sounds like you're just on the exact same wavelength as this man, which is truly like the most gratifying experience. Even though it's great to hear other people's like readings of it and whatnot, which there are some things you're saying that I don't think we really had at the forefront of our mind, but totally ring true with everything that we were trying to talk about, or I should say realized we were talking about as we made it. And yeah, I mean, the way that and talking about Bob's involvement, it all just lined up. I think we talked about this on, I'm sure, one of the other 2 appearances we've had on this show or any of the other interviews we've done, but it did just kind of feel like the stars just aligned on this pairing. And yeah, I mean, the book is about magic, but there's magic happening. There's magic happening in every single email, every Dropbox drop that Bob would send our way. That I just think
we lived for.
It all just happened to be, I think, the perfect pairing of ideas, and what a wonderful collaboration. And that is, I think, what really makes it all so special and like really pop, is that we're talking about being on the same wavelength, and Bob was with us every single step of the way, and that was really, really exciting.
Absolutely.
That's awesome, man. I was sitting here as you guys were talking, and I was thinking about the standout moments for me, and it made the hairs on my arms stand up. There's a moment 8 where okay, Rose had her fun. Let's have ours with the and the goggles and
hell yeah, dude, Elliot.
That's good shit. That's good shit. Elliot gets to do like a big, kaiju battle, a big like, he likes his beat 'em beasts with our Pokemon analog, and so we wanted to have him do like a Pokemon type, a big beast battle, right?
Yeah, bringing in the Silver Flame.
That was kind of always there for. Well, I guess the kaiju fight, hilariously enough, like the 3rd act of the story went through so many changes. We almost were on a completely different track with the last like 3 issues. And then once it came down to the wire, to actually like writing the final versions of these things was when everything kind of changed. But the kaiju fight was actually always there. Believe it or not, there was always big monsters fighting in the last issue. And when we got around to Elliot's going to survive, Elliot's going to make it all the way through to the end, he's going to be there for the final battle, we were like, well, we need to give him a big creature. And so at first he just had a big creature, and the Silver Flame was another type of MacGuffin that they had to sort of heist. And then we were like, well, I don't know if we have the space for that. The original script for 8 was 100 pages long, and then we had to come to our senses on that. And the options were either, split it up or, figure out something else. But we knew it wraps up in this one. And so what you're reading in the final version of 8 is really the the epitome of the entire experience, which is this has to be the most efficient version of this story. And so the 52-page version is the literally, you know, cut in half, most efficient version of that original 100-page draft.
These poor guys are calling me on the phone. Go, okay, Bob. So here's what's happening. Dude, I'm like, okay.
It was a crisis. It was a crisis.
It really was. You know, like, it's 100 pages. I was like, okay.
And this was leading up to New York Comic Con too, where you're so fucking stressed out, and we're like, we're calling just like, oh god, what are we gonna do?
Well, we felt terrible too. Like we had a schedule that we were trying to keep and everything, and so thankfully Bob did have like some more coloring work to sort of do in the meantime, and we did say like, all right, I think we're gonna need there's a couple more weeks on this one. We spent a long time like really just trying to hone the ideas and hone the energy. So it took us forever to write even the first version of it. And then, I wrapped up the skeleton, the panel breakdowns. It's the night before New York Comic Con and it's 100 pages. And first I call Ethan and I'm like, I don't know what to do about this. And then it's like 2 a.m. Eastern and I'm calling Bob.
And it needed to be, we had to hand it over to Bob, like, during New York Comic Con.
Because it was kind of like, we need to like get the ball rolling on this. And so we called him up in like the middle of the night and we came up with the plan, and there was talks about splitting it into 2 issues at first, and then it was just like, okay, like Bob, like what's the max you think? And Bob was like 48 pages of art, and we were like, done, that is what it will be. We'll figure it out. So I'm sorry, I totally lost my train of thought on that, but it was again talking about the collaboration of it all. Really was just like Bob was so generous with his time and energy, and so
and we just like we wanted so badly to not fail him, and like just I was just desperately writing this shit on the plane to New York Comic Con, and we stayed up all night the first night of New York Comic Con working together, and it was just
first
surreal.
night. Well, it was actually a lovely experience because lovely to an extent, but
in a way,
I should say it was a poetic experience that we actually got to like put the final period on the like art draft of it. We would then spend the next like 4 months still doing the dialogue paths and just rewriting all of the dialogue, and even coming in occasionally with like some last minute like, Bob, you're about to draw page fucking 42, don't draw it yet.
They're like, don't do that one yet. I'm like, okay, we're good. No, go ahead, I'm sorry.
I was just gonna say we got to finish it in the hotel room in New York together, and that was great. But also, we were both sitting on opposite sides of this extremely cramped hotel room, and we were just like having to kill as many darlings as we possibly could in those final moments.
Like Griffin and I have only been in person together like 7 times in our decade-long friendship, and so like to finish the book together was very weird, and we were so sweaty and tired, and but man, we made it happen.
We were hungry too. I was hungry, and I was just like, dude, I gotta eat before we finish this. Like, I'm not fucking leaving this hotel room until I finish this. And I was just like, fine, fuck, dude. Finished it. Like I was like, okay, my part is like, I'm fucking done. Go and do your thing. I'm going to get fucking Taco Bell.
a true labor of love.
But it did lead to no. I interrupted you. No, it did lead to some of the best series of photographs, though. This final issue, because the first one I get is from Griffin, just being like this, literally red nosed with tears, and then I get photographs of these guys in their hotel room with like Ethan on a bed, just like.
I had a little cot that was shoved against the wall next to the bed, so I'm just dying.
Sleeping on the floor.
In the
hotel room. Yes,
brutal. But we got it done.
Exhausted.
Got it done. Editors, they can hit a deadline.
Are you listening? Please.
They can win awards.
Because I, for one, cannot wait to see. Not that I am not eternally grateful for this book, but I can't wait to see what's next. Like I want more. I want more from you guys. I need it. Look at it. It's the. I read a lot of comics. I read a lot of books. Review a lot of card games and novels and RPGs, and I mean, I exist in the space as a a games director. I'm going through and helping people develop their IPs, and through all of that, this cuts in a way that's so delicious. Like it just.
Thank you.
Yeah, man, I love this piece. It's so
We
good.
we haven't stopped writing at all. We've been working on something that's not announced yet since before Kill Your Darlings was done, and we're still working on that. And then we have a couple other irons in the fire, but we are desperate to get something up and going with Bob as well. Because if it were up to me, I'd work with Bob forever. So there'll be plenty more coming from us.
Yeah.
Correct.
Oh, you guys.
Bob's a little tied up working on a little book called X Factor over.
You might have heard of it.
With Mark Russell. Mm-hmm.
I've heard of that.
He's not wrong. He's not wrong. It is a dab-worthy book. You got Mark Russell on there. Excellent. Bob Quinn. Excellent. New era of X-Men. Go get it.
Costumes look fresh to death. Like it's good.
Yeah.
It's real good.
The thing that I am very pleased about is that it is genuinely a really funny book, but it hits on a lot of really, really interesting cultural garbage. Exactly the stuff that you would expect from Mark Russell. And it's always it's always a pleasure to work with him because he's another one of those people where I can tell that we align the way that we think. So that's good. But
if anybody's going to steal Bob away from us for the moment, I'm glad it's Mark Russell.
It's the only person I would allow to do it. So.
Yeah.
As we wrap up, I mean this in a way that hopefully isn't weird. I love you all. Thank you for this beautiful piece of art.
Love you too, brother.
Love you too, buddy.
Fantastic. And let us next time we talk. If you have nothing to announce, because we'll do it again in maybe a month or two. If you have nothing to announce, it'll be a very special Lizard episode, and we'll just sit around and talk about that.
Seriously, can't thank you enough from the bottom of my heart. Thank you so much, man, for all the kind words.
Yeah, absolutely.
All deserved. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. Remember to go Kill Your Darlings. Make sure you get the trade reserve. Local comic book shops, shop online, go to Amazon, wherever you need to get it. Cop the book. Pay for it. It's worth it. It's amazing.
Thank you.
Until next time.
Thanks, guys.